Stone, how are you a different player today than you were last season?
It's a good question. I didn't really play. I didn't play at all last year, but I think it was important that I didn't. I wasn't there mentally. I wasn't mentally prepared. As you all may know, it's a grind. The game speeds up a lot. I mentally was sped up, even in scrimmages and whatnot. I physically thought I was there, but I think it was important that I was able to watch, Cal and Peeves, who were great mentors, go throughout the year last year, and then teach me, their ways. And then I think that's the biggest difference this year is mentally I'm just everything's slower, calm down, and I trust myself more.
Did you feel things slow down for you in the fall and in the preseason?
For sure. I remember last year everything just felt like I was only here for like 6 months, even though it was a whole year. And this year it felt like I've been here forever. I've been playing here for 4 years. That's the way it's felt mentally. Just everything's felt so much slower.
Has it been a challenge to kind of keep that pace when you've gotten to games, or has it been seamless?
No, I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from a year is I don't really even feel sped up in the games right now, which I think is the most important thing. It's carried over from scrimmages to games that the tempo still feels the same.
What kind of things did you have to work on to get that mental growth that you needed?
I think just gaining a relationship more with the pitchers, which is the most important thing, as well as trusting the coaching staff. They may look on the outside, hey, you're not playing. You don't want to trust them, but I mean, we win over here, and that's all thanks to the coaching staff and the support staff and Coach E and V and Frank. They do such a great job of helping you be confident in yourself and just doing all the reps that they give you the opportunity to make the most out of them, and the rest take care of itself.
I think you were in here when Tony said that last season, if he didn't travel with the team, the teammates were going to kill him. Yeah. How much of that did you know about when you guys were getting ready to travel, just how much they were rooting for you last year?
I was fortunate enough to know because they would tell me. I got it all from my dad. He's a clown, so I say some stupid stuff that people think is pretty funny, and I guess that got me on the road more than it should have. So I kind of took care of the things that helped me out.
When people consistently describe you as a really good teammate, to you, what is a really good teammate? What's a really good teammate do?
Yeah, I think it's someone who doesn't let, whether you're in the lineup or if you're 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, really dictate who you are as a person. I think it's important we all know someone who has a bad day at work or a bad day at the field or something, for example, is a pain in the butt or a bad person to be around, at home. And I always like to make sure whether I'm playing or not, or if I had a bad game, that I'm still Stone, right? I don't want to be a cancer blocker just because I had a bad day or I'm not playing or whatnot. So I think that's the most important part, just staying with my humor and just being a good guy.
How much of that do you think, being on the road with the team and just getting to experience those games maybe is helping the mental side of your game this year?
I think it's helped a lot. Just looking back on it last year, I remember a couple of times I'd envision myself in, even though it wouldn't happen, but I just put myself in that moment. I was like, to be honest with you, I don't think I'm there mentally yet. So now, with more than a year under my belt, I feel like I can be in those moments and be present and not be sped up because the guys trust me, the coaching staff trusts me, and I think I trust myself, which is most important.
You were behind Reese today. What did you see from his bats from that on next week?
It's fun to watch Reese, man. He's got so much juice. He's so strong. I really loved how he was letting everything get pretty deep and using the backside of the field, and that double was pretty legit.
Being that teammate guy, is that something that you've always been like, or is that with time, or maybe with other? You talked about working with Cal and Peebles. Like, has that developed over time?
I think a little bit of both. I think Cal and Peebles and Charlie Taylor, they were the best. Stamos. I mean, watching them interact with each other, especially Cal and Peebles, given they've duked out the position, watching how those two interacted with each other was important because it kind of taught me that I need to be that same guy whether I'm playing or not. And I think the rest of it came from my dad. He always taught me growing up that, like, if I ever had a bad attitude, then it'd be a bad day for me, right? Regardless of my performance. So that kind of stuck with me throughout my childhood.
From your vantage point, what was Humley doing so well today, and what steps have you seen him take from last year to now? He looks like he's improved a lot.
Who's that?
Humley.
Humley?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is I think from the outside he looks more confident for sure, and he can spin that slider wherever he wants it, and then he's just locating that heater too. I mean, he goes out there and whatever we call, I'm 100% confident it's going to be in that location. So I think that's the biggest point is he goes out there and he's going to get outs and he's going to challenge the hitters, and he gives up a hit, whatever, right? He's going to get back in the zone.
What did you see from Brandon in his start? What allowed him to bounce back from the leadoff home?
I thought he threw.
Going into Texas.
Yeah, I thought he threw really well overall. He made one mistake and the guy capitalized on it, but I mean he did a good job locating all his pitches. He that one changeup, it was crazy. He was low with it in the pregame, especially even in the game, everything was down, and then he left one up and he hit it, but he didn't let it flush for him, right? He kind of laughed about it because he's like, yeah, I threw one up, right? And then he just got back up there and kept locating. And I think it's important that he got to get 2 starts after being down for some time, and now he'll be ready to go in Texas, right? Confident the way he bounced back after that one mistake.
Stone, you seem really comfortable with the plate today. You mentioned how the game was kind of slowed down for you. How is that factored into your plate discipline and getting good pitches to hit 4, 5, 6 pitches into the at bat?
I think the most important thing is if it's slowing down, you can, if you're sped up, you don't really see spin, if that makes sense, or everything's kind of just blending together, coming in at you at a million miles an hour. So I think if you just slow it down, you can have the ability to maybe recognize spin or see the way he's gripping it or something differently. And overall, if you're slowing it down, then the velocity slows down as well.
So being on a board, last season, being a part of the team, being a part of that ride, and not playing. I mean, how much is that a motivating factor to sit there and spend the season like watching that all that happen, and then obviously helping?
Yeah, I think it makes you more determined, right? We won it all last year, which is pretty crazy. But in the back of my mind, I didn't do anything, right, other than be a good teammate. So from a selfish side of things, it's a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, right? Because I didn't play at all, but what I do have in my corner is that I know I'm a good teammate, so I kind of use the two, if that makes sense. The chip on my shoulder and being a good teammate to kind of blend into one and help me carry myself in the field.
Thanks, Stone. Thanks, everybody.